Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Emily in Paris, Season 1, Episode 4, A Kiss is Just a Kiss. Oh, such a good episode. This is probably my favorite episode I've seen so far. Maybe the first episode I really liked too, but this one was so good. So much stuff to talk about, so much stuff happened, and I cannot wait to get into it. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, like the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. The visuals on this show are incredible. I just love it. The photography, whatever, the video, I just love the background. Paris, the colors, they really do a good job with it. So the first scene we see Emily trying to buy these roses, and the lady selling them is not very nice. And she's really trying, and she's trying to say it in French. It's not going very well. This lady keeps making this face, and she's trying to just say, nope, these are not for you. These are from the South. We see this beautiful blonde lady in the background start to make her way up, and she's trying to help. And she says she wants the nice roses. So the lady switches them, and Emily is very appreciative to this mystery, beautiful blonde lady. So they get to talking, and Emily is very appreciative, and she finds out that this lady's name is Camille. And Camille is just stunning and charming and telling Emily all the great local places to go and just really being nice to her. And she works for an art gallery. There's an opening tonight, and there's a big time hotelier that's going to be there. And it's just nice. Emily doesn't really have a lot of friends here, so it's really nice that this stranger is being so sweet to her. So they go to hug goodbye, and they accidentally kiss on the mouth. And Emily is like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. And Camille goes, oh, I'm not. Woo! So there's definitely a charged moment there. So Emily's not sure what to think, but she seems kind of into it. She's smiling. So she goes back to her apartment, and the manager is trying to say something to her, and it sounds like a package has arrived. So Emily's trying to get it, and Gabriel is there. Oh, Gabriel. So he's helping her with her boxes from home, and he sees the undies. And if you remember our last episode, we found out Antoine sent them to her, the perfume guy. So he's like, and she says, oh, that's from my office. And he says, where do you work? So she opens up her boxes from home, and the peanut butter that she really wanted from Trader Joe's, yeah, it got on everything, including pictures of her ex. So Gabriel's like, no, you're in Paris. Come with me. So he makes her this beautiful omelet. And all I want to say is I'll eat whatever Gabriel wants to feed me. So the lingerie comes back up, and she explains it was a gift. He says, you must have made him happy. She says he's married, and he's having an affair with my boss. And Gabriel says, it sounds messy. It is. So she goes into work, and there is a song that played here that I instantly loved. So I had to look up the name of the song, and I wish I could play it here, but I can't because of copyright. But it's called Let's Always Stay in Love by Megan Smith, Meghan Smith. And I'm telling you this because it's very catchy, and it's very French, and it's so fun. So look it up because it was great. So Emily, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, walks in with these flowers, and she's talking to Julian, and he's like, and she realizes something's going on. What's happening is Antoine and Sylvie are fighting in the office. So she's like, oh no, I need to go in, and Julian's like, I don't know. And she goes in, and Julian is like thinking about taking other agency meetings. He might walk, and Emily has to be quick on her feet, and we see it here. So she's saying that this hotelier is in town, and she's trying to help Sylvie out. She's saying, hey, I took that meeting you wanted. We'll be meeting up later to discuss the possibility of signature scent for the hotels. And Sylvie's like, what are you talking about? She's like, you remember, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you told me to do this? She's like, oh, yeah. All the same face in front of Antoine. Here's what annoyed me. So Emily is so quick on her feet. And she's come up with this great idea. And I understand that she's trying to be nice and get along with her boss. But there's only so much you can take. This Sylvie is a bitch. She's over the top a bitch. Just every step of the way, she's been a bitch. Not just a little bit either. Insults Emily and continues to do so throughout the episode. We'll see it. It's more than just a little bit. It's more than just not a nice person. Like, she outright insults her. So this part bothered me a little bit. But luckily Antoine saw through it. He knew that it was Emily's idea. But, man, I wish I could come up with ideas that quick. Emily is very quick on her feet. So Antoine says, why didn't you tell me this? And Emily says, it's a great idea, very cutting edge. And so it's just like, wish me luck. Gives the flowers to her boss. And Antoine says, that's a very smart girl. So Emily sits down. Sylvie walks in, throws the flowers down. What do you think you're doing? So Emily tries to explain, well, Julian says he was taking other agency meetings and didn't want you to lose them. I don't need you to come in and rescue me. I certainly don't need to take credit for your idea that I don't even know that I like. And Emily is so confident. She's like, you will. But Sylvie's such a bitch. So Julian and Hair Guy take Emily out to lunch. And they're trying to tell her, you're stepping into danger here, be careful. And they also know that La Perla happens to be Antoine's place. So they know that he sent that lingerie to her, and they're warning her, be careful around Sylvie. Well, the meantime, Emily keeps smelling something. She's like, what do I smell? Yeah, once again, she stepped in dog poop. So that's what she's smelling. So they're like, oh, you're stepping in it. So Emily gets Mindy to go to this gallery with her, the one that Camille had invited her to earlier in the street. So they go in, and Mindy's saying, you haven't done Paris right unless you've had one wild affair. And she's saying, I'm more interested in getting Sylvie's respect. So they go in, it's a nice gallery, and everybody's there. She walks up to greet Camille, and then she gets to meet the hotelier. So this is where we meet Randy Zimmer. Emily introduces herself, excited to be opening a Zimmer hotel in Paris, and tries to make small talk. And at first he's not really interested, and I think he might be a jerk, but he ends up being pretty nice. He likes her. He listens to her ideas about a signature scent, and he ends up giving her his card. And he's like, you have until tomorrow. Then we get another beautiful shot like this. And oh, Paris, I love you. So they're waiting around anxiously. Is he going to show up? Is the hotel guy going to show up? And sure enough, he does. So Emily's excited. She's introducing everybody around. And they say Sylvie's the head, Antoine is the nose. And he says, what does that make you? And Sylvie says, the mouth. What a bitch. So they go smell all these scents to try to come up with a signature scent for the hotel. And Antoine's explaining it has to build balance with sweet and stinky. And, he's receptive to it, but Sylvie keeps being a bitch about it, saying, maybe you should find a perfumer in Chicago. Just trying to ruin it for everybody. Emily's desperately trying to save it. And Emily comes up with the idea, hey, let's go to dinner. And so they could talk it out more. And Sylvie, again, she was over the top this episode. She's like, okay, Emily, since you're an expert in Paris, why don't you find the place for dinner? So later on, Sylvie comes to her and is like, you have to get us into this specific place that's very hard to get into. She thinks she's done it. They get to this fancy restaurant, and you can imagine what happens next. She tries to get the reservation, or she's made the reservation, but she's done it wrong. She forgot that it's, in America, it's month, day, year, and over there it's day, month, year. So she's done it wrong. So she has to think really quick on her feet, which seems to be her specialty. So what does she do? She calls up Gabriel. Oh, Gabriel. So he's receptive to, well, no, he's not. At first he's like, oh no, I can't possibly take that many people. We're closing. And she's like, no, we're coming. So she has to go out there and sell it to him like this private fancy chef is going to be making him a special meal, and then they're going to come back to this exclusive restaurant once the deal goes through at a later date. So it ends up working out beautifully. They go to this dinner. It's beautiful food. Gabriel can cook the hell out of this stuff. Everybody's very happy, and they decide to come to an agreement. So they're going to be sending over the paperwork, and he's going to be doing business with Antoine. So Antoine will stay with the agency that Emily and Sylvie are with. So this is when we get to see Gabriel. He comes out being all handsome and Gabriel. And she introduces him to everybody. And Sylvie, it clicks in her head, oh, this is the guy who got her lingerie. Okay. Emily's not a threat anymore. So she kind of starts being a little bit nice to her. So everybody leaves happy. And Emily is thanking Gabriel for the meal and being all cute and charming, and Sylvie walks out of the bathroom, and she's like, oh, you have excellent taste in lingerie, and Gabriel is just completely confused by this, so she has to shuffle Sylvie out of the door. So it's outside, and Sylvie even invites Emily to drinks, but then she's like, no, you need to go spend some time with that guy in there. So it kind of convinces Emily. She's like, yeah, maybe I do. It kind of convinces Emily to go for it. So she goes back inside to give him a proper thank you, and voila. So some smooching goes on, and it's great for like a minute. So she says thank you and good night and walks out and is on cloud nine. Gabriel seems into it too, and the moment finally happens. And first she sees Sylvie and Antoine totally making out. So she's like, oh my goodness. But then who does she run into? It's Camille. What? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You get it. So they're just like, what? And so she said, it's so crazy we keep running into each other. The chef here is amazing. I know. He's my boyfriend. Oh my gosh. So she's like, wait, what? You know Gabriel? Emily has to think quick and be like, yeah, he's my neighbor. Gabriel comes out and has this look, and oh, it's so awkward. I want to hate Gabriel, but I don't hate Gabriel. He's so cute. And Emily's just like, what the hell's going on? So yeah, and that's how the episode ends. Oh my gosh, so much good stuff happened. So much crazy stuff happened, and I still love Gabriel. So that's it for the episode. What did you guys think? I thought this was a really good one. Really dramatic and fun, and so much Paris. I love it. I'm just loving this show so much. I love talking about it. I love watching it. It's so fun. So let me know what you think below. I appreciate it, and I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.